Hello everybody, my name is Drenless, pronounced Drenless, and I know it has been a hot minute since my last video, and because it's been so long, I wanted to come back with a video that would really blow your socks off, okay? Which is why I'm back with Dead Rising Part 200, and in this one I'm just kidding, obviously. Today we're going to be talking about my favourite YouTuber, Matt Walsh. Now you may be saying, wow, Pete McClintock from Veep has his own YouTube channel, and no. Well, maybe he does, I don't know, because today we're not talking about legendary American actor Matt Walsh, we're talking about legendary American political commentator Matt Walsh, and I just love this guy. Okay, just look at him. Just look at his cute little face. Just look at his cute little beard. Give him a little chin pat here. Do you think he liked that? A quick dive into his YouTube channel reveals some of the strangest titles I've ever seen. I mean, just look at these things. Honestly, look at these titles. A quick use of the find tool on Google Chrome reveals that he used the word cringe 4 times in the last month, and he used the word woke 4 times in the last 10 days. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, it's not really 2012 anymore. So this kind of stuff seems a little bit cringe. Well, maybe for Matt Walsh it's still 2010, which is why Feminist Getting Wrecked compilation is still allowed to be active on his channel and like make decent amount of views. Yeah, good English, Drenless. But for the rest of us, we have to kinda move forward in the timeline and find different things to talk about. What am I even saying? First of all, I just want to show you guys the funniest thing I have ever seen. But to preface this, look at his face. Here it is again. Do you remember this face? Prepare yourself, because whatever voice you think he has, he does not have.
He's dancing through the house, and at one point he's smearing paint on the walls, kicking over lamps. He knocks over his sister's paints and he spills them on the carpet. He throws glitter all over the living room. And then you see at one point his mother is looking on with a blank expression. And then the ad ends with the words, "Let life happen, home insurance." So that's the ad. Before we even get to the issue of the boy in the dress.
One more time.
So that's the ad. Before we even get to the issue of the boy in the dress.
And a third time for good measure.
Before we even get to the issue of the boy in the dress.
2 things. First of all, does he only eat River Rocks and Johnny Walker whiskey? Because holy shit, dude, what is your voice? I expected him to have a kind of a softer voice, you know, nice little hipster voice, like oh, I don't know, just not whatever that voice is. And the second thing is that not the funniest thing you have ever heard? Just the complete deadpan seriousness of, now, before we get to the issue of the boy in the dress. Just, he spends like 50 seconds talking about, like, describing this ad to you, and then he finishes it off and he literally goes like, Matt, that's the kind of speak you'd reserve for something horrific and disgusting, for something that's genuinely serious. Like, before we get to the issue of the blatant homophobia and transphobia of Matt Walsh's content, let's talk about this book. Matt Walsh is an author. Well, apparently. He wrote a book called, like, Fighting Back Against the Leftist Nightmare or something. I don't know. Something Tucker Carlson probably reads before bed to, like, put himself to sleep. But he wrote this book called Johnny the Walrus, and I was lying when I said he was my favorite YouTuber, because he's actually not. Okay? My favorite YouTuber is Dan the Diamond Minecart. But this guy, I was scrolling Reddit, and I came across this post of him reading this book called Johnny the Walrus to a group of children. A book that he wrote. And Holy shit, you guys. Holy shit, you guys. I just had to talk about this, okay? It's the whole reason I resurrected the great Dreadless YouTube channel, to bestow upon you my world-renowned content once more, because this fucking clip, this entire video is one of, like, the strangest things I've ever seen. Now, first of all, I want to talk about how dumb kids are. Children are very stupid, okay? They're so stupid you can literally just, like, tell them something and they'll believe you. For example, I was once at Coles with, like, my cousin, okay? And she's very small, and she was like, "Do you think Freddy Fazbear is a boy or a girl?" And I said, "Freddy Fazbear is a girl." And she said, "No, I'm pretty sure he's a boy." No, Freddy Fazbear's a girl. Look, I'll Google it right now. And I opened up the Notes app, and I wrote, "Is Freddy Fazbear a girl?" And then I pressed the enter button, and I wrote, "Yes." And I showed it to her, and I was like, "Look, Google told me." She was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." And she still believes me to this day. That was like 3 years ago, okay? That's how dumb kids are. You can just write gibberish and say it's Google. I know. Amazing. But what we're about to watch is a video of somebody failing so 100%, like so ultimately failing to convince a child of anything.
Okay. Hello, boys and girls. My name is Matt Walsh. I am a children's author, and I've written a book called Johnny the Walrus. This book is all about identity and imagination. Now, who likes to pretend to be things? Is there anything you like to pretend to be? How about in the back?
I like to pretend to be
a ninja. That's a good one. What about you? That's what this book is about. It's all about a boy who pretends to be a walrus. He identifies as a walrus, and his mom's a little silly. She takes it seriously and thinks he really is a walrus. That's silly, isn't it?
So we get a little plot synopsis from world-renowned children's author Matt Walsh of a young boy who likes to dress up and pretend that he is various things. He likes to pretend that he's a Jedi Knight. He likes to pretend that he's a Minecraft creeper. But one day, his mother takes it a little bit too far. I'm sure you can already tell where this is going. The joke is that it's like trans people do, because trans people are just pretending. They're not actually boys or girls. They're actually just what they are originally born as, okay? Alright? Obviously, doctors and all that sort of stuff, they're just lying to you. If you're... Fuck, where am I even going with this?
So what is this thing doing on the floor?
We don't have to worry about that. We're going to read the book now.
Here's an example of these kids just absolutely not giving a shit what he has to say. He's talking about, this crazy plot of how this kid's a walrus and he's born and he's not a walrus actually, but his mother thinks he is. And this kid's like, "Do you see this rock? I found it on the ground. Do you think I should, like, eat it or something? What do you think it is?" And he's like, "We don't have to worry about that. Absolute beta male just got cucked by the Sigma child."
Johnny's a boy with a big imagination. One day he's a dog, the next day a crustacean.
We can probably fast forward through all the opening stuff, because the joke is Johnny is a kid who pretends to be animals. Okay, that's the plot.
One morning he came downstairs barking and clapping, wood spoons for tusks and sock fins a-flapping. Johnny's mom loves her son's make-believe time. "You're Johnny the Walrus till you change your mind," Mommy says. But Johnny's mom's phone said it's not just pretend. So she went on her phone, and there are people telling her that this isn't pretend. He's really a walrus.
And then tragedy strikes as Johnny's mother goes on her phone, and all the evil phone people tell her that Johnny's not actually pretending. He's actually a walrus. And look, you know where it's going, okay? It's not subtle in any way. It's...
Only a bigot would say that. How dare you offend? What's a bigot? Anybody know? The mean person, right? Mommy was told to take John for a checkup. All these people are holding signs. "Johnny is a real walrus," one sign says. "Human walruses are real walruses. Let Johnny transition," all these people are saying. You'll need to eat worms and to put on gray makeup. The worms give you whiskers, the gray blends you in, the doctor says. And a simple procedure cuts feet into fins.
Here's a little bit of a masterful storytelling from renowned children's author Matt Walsh. It's a little bit of a hidden detail. You'll only notice it. See, the doctor has a PhD, like a certificate in the back that says Woke Doctor. That's literally, their name is Woke. Their name is Woke Doctor. Woke has been used 5 times in the last month, okay? And here's something also funny. Woke Doctor has pink hair and a beard. Because pink hair and a beard, that's so weird. Because pink is a girl colour, but a beard is a boy thing. Matt Walsh, please help me.
It's gross eating worms, Mom. They're all so dang twitchy. He doesn't want to eat worms.
And then the children come in and they save the video again with honestly, this kid in the grey shirt is a better storyteller than Matt Walsh, and Matt Walsh is a published author. Okay, listen to this ultimate story by a kid in grey shirt number 256.
I thought I didn't eat worms, but I did.
Deep down, Johnny's mom knew that something was wrong, but she felt so much pressure she just went along. The internet people knew just what to do. She went back to the internet to look for answers. Never a good idea.
Matt Walsh, here's a little bit of irony here for you. Matt Walsh says that going to the internet for answers is never a good idea, despite the fact that Johnny the Walrus is available exclusively on Amazon under the politics category, which Matt Walsh isn't very happy about. We'll get into that later.
And Mommy was told to take John to the zoo. Now she's going to take her son to go live at the zoo like he's a real walrus.
I don't want to live at the zoo.
When Johnny arrived, the walruses grunted. And the mommy says, "My boy's a real walrus. His growth was just stunted." The zookeeper thought, "What's she talking about?" "Ma'am, that's just a boy with wood spoons in his mouth. Now he's the voice of reason."
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I think this zookeeper's kind of fuckable, don't you? Just something about him reminds me of somebody. I don't know who, but maybe I could just continue on with the video is what I was about to say.
But if I believe that, they'll say that I'm phobic. Protecting your son, ma'am, is what's most heroic. At last, Johnny's mommy was able to see that Johnny's not what he's pretending to be. Now mommy ignores the mean things on her phone while Johnny pretends he's a bird flying home. There's another one there. We got a bunch of them. They're going to be all over the place soon enough. You can ask your parents to buy it for you. Is there a particular ending we're looking for here, or just...
Matt Walsh finishes the video with a nice little bit of comedy, saying, "What ending are we looking for? I don't know, Matt. Just do whatever you want, and we'll just end it here. Ben Shapiro's coming on in like 5 minutes. Could you just wrap up this whole book thing?" And he also tells us that this book is available for purchase by your parents. So get your parents to go and buy this just amazingly written book. Now, first of all, I just want to get a few things out of the way. The book's just openly like transphobic, obviously. The joke is that the worms are like the hormone pills and the surgery is like the surgery and blah 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 blah. And the mother has been absolutely brainwashed by the evil internet people telling her that Johnny is actually a walrus. But thankfully she goes and finds this sexy zookeeper who sets her straight. Tells it like it is, if you will. There's another video. One more video. Because Matt Walsh released his book, and it was opened up to renowned praise and applause by not children, adults. Because this book is not for children. This book is for adults. My personal opinion, so take what you will, is that this is a coffee table book that you purchase and you show to all your friends and you say, "Oh, look at this little book I have here. Look at this book. Oh, do you get it? It's like a children's book, but it's actually saying that trans people are just confused and brainwashed by the masses." Oh, Yeah, it was only like $60. How much is it? Fuck. Now, despite being released to praise and applause and lots of adults saying how awesome it was and that finally the genre of children's picture books has been co-opted by a sane person for once, because there is an extremely vocal group of people online that believe that children's books are just full of Marxist literature being brainwashed by the loony left. Okay. But finally, he was a sane man with just a sexy beard. Oh, that beard. And he was coming along and he was writing books, and he was writing books that were finally good again. Thank you, Matt Walsh. But tragedy strikes, because Amazon originally listed the book as the best-selling LGBT book on the site, right? Now, you may be thinking, well, hang on, Drainless. You're from Texas, okay? You're my Texas viewer. You're my only Texas viewer, and you're saying, well, hang on, Drainless. If this book is so blatantly and openly LGBTQIA plus phobic, which we've already proven that it is, how is it listed as a top book of the LGBT category, right? How is it the top selling in that category? I've got no fucking clue. But Amazon quickly realized its mistake and moved the book over to the political commentary blah 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 section, okay? Matt Walsh wasn't happy about that, and he released a follow-up video titled, Unbelievable, Amazon removes Johnny the Walrus from LGBT category. Is it really that unbelievable, Matt? In this video, you have to sift through past like 2 minutes of him just going, well, my book was in the LGBT... No. Of him just going, my book was in the LGBT category, and that means I'm an LGBT author, and that means I'm the leading spokesperson for LGBTs, and yeah, that's the joke. I just go on for 2 minutes about how, despite how openly anti-LGBTQIA plus I am, I was in the LGBT category, and now I'm blah blah. Holy shit, he talks like that all the time? Jesus Christ. But you eventually get down to it, and it's really just him bitching that his book's not in the LGBT section anymore, which, I mean, he should be happy about. Like, why would you want this book in the LGBT section? Do you want, like, people who are transgender, or gay, or bisexual, or lesbian, or questioning, or queer, or ace? Do you want them to be reading this book? Like, are they your target audience? It'd be kind of like me making a video titled Matt Walsh sucks a fucking ass and he's just the worst YouTuber ever, and I make it private and the only person I give a link to is Matt Walsh. Could you imagine if I actually did that? What a fucking... I could literally do that. Why do you care? Like, honestly, this video is literally like just 7 minutes of him complaining and whinging and bitching that his book isn't in the LGBT section anymore. Now, he also makes a point to talk about how shit this book called Sexted by Santa Thrust into Love is, and that apparently book 4 was the worst of the series and that everybody hated it, which is literally just not true.
It even bested the classic Sexted by Santa Thrust into Love Book 4. They probably should have stuck with Sexted by Santa trilogy. You know, the narrative really lost its momentum in the 4th installment. Some critics are reporting anyway.
60% of the reviews are like 5 stars, and the only 3-star, one of the only 3-star reviews I read said, this book's actually pretty good, and I've kind of enjoyed it, except the main character is really dislikable. He goes on this big thing about how everybody hated it, and it was the worst of the series, and all that stuff. Another little bit, there's this news publication called Media Matters that wrote a news article about him. He said it was a hit piece, which is just not true. Google Definitions defines hit piece as an article or documentary / etc. that deliberately tries to make somebody / something look bad by presenting information about them that appears to be true and accurate but actually is not. If you look at Media Managed or Media Matters or whatever that site's called, if you look at that article, none of it's untrue. It's literally just all true, saying like Matt Walsh says stupid anti-LGBT rhetoric all the time. He does. Anyway, what's next? In that video where he's just like whinging that his book's not in the LGBT section anymore, he just randomly does a sponsorship for Kimikoto knives out of nowhere. Like, literally doesn't say it's a sponsor or anything. He's going on about this terrible article that's just so slanderous, and then all of a sudden he's like, and I got my Christmas present, Kimikoto knife set.
Johnny the Walrus, supposedly aimed at 3 to 5-year-olds, tells the story of a little boy who pretends to be a walrus. Johnny's mother is pressured by the internet to tell her child that he is a walrus, and protesters are shown with signs claiming human walruses are real walruses. The most twisted attack on trans kids is when Johnny's mom takes him to the doctor, who tells him he must only eat worms, constantly wear itchy gray makeup, and have his feet cut into fins. Well, I just opened my Christmas present, which is a set of Kamikoto knives. And look, these knives, they tap into more than 800 years of traditional techniques from Honshu, Japan. Each Kamikoto knife goes through a rigorous 19-step process that takes several years from start to finish to complete. Because of their single bevel edge, Kamikoto knives.
This is a Kimikoto knife set, clearly. This isn't a Woolworths Lego truck that I impulsively bought. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Matt Walsh has made a lot of garbage, a lot of stuff you could tear apart, put down, but I don't really feel like doing that, because it kind of makes me sad. Like, I thought you weren't allowed to have these opinions anymore. 1984. I don't mean, like, not allowed to have these opinions before. I thought you weren't just allowed to say shit like, oh yeah, trans people are just walruses. Or... I just thought you weren't allowed to say stuff like that, like, out in the open anymore. I thought it had to be, like, snide and underhanded. You know, sort of like, it's Christmas, so that one uncle that was at that party that was like, don't even get me started on this whole LGZQ bullshit. Like, but no, you're allowed to, and you're allowed to thrive off doing this shit. He's got, like, almost 500,000 subscribers. Good on you, Matt. And I can already see every argument that he's going to make. He's going to be like, oh, well, it's actually not anti-LGBT because I'm talking about how it's a walrus. And, well, you saying transgender people are walruses, Drenless? He's not even going to respond to this because he's a little cuckboy who makes the worst biscuits I've ever seen. But, I mean, come on. If you've got half a brain cell, you already know the truth, right? Anyway, thanks for watching. Sorry I haven't uploaded in a while. Currently quarantining. But, yep. That's it. End the video. Dude, end the video. Holy shit. Can you... Fucking, why do I even hire an editor?